What's going on, everyone out there in YouTube land? Just kicking it with the microphone, just wondering what everything's about. See, everything's pretty much migrated this way. Just make introductory statement. I am the Manbaer pig. Normally, I'm doing the TikTok thing in little brief minutes and short little spats. But now I'm trying to get out there and get a handle on this YouTube things. And you've migrated here from TikTok. That's great because I could definitely use the eyeballs. That's awesome. But no, the new format and doing the long form is something that I've always want to get at. And if I don't net anyone on this first exchange, it's not really going to be that hurtful because I really want to tell you what I want to try to start making and get out there to the people. I'm into all kinds of sports. Usually, my content is leaned toward more like with kids and whatnot. But being that this is YouTube, I'm known to drop a few f bombs and this and that, and I just don't want to get caught up in any kind of hoopla. So we'll try to keep it for the ages, more toward the 18 and up, especially if colorful languages and jokes and stuff are going to be mentioned on this channel. But no, I pretty much try to keep it family friendly for the most part. Just getting off of work, I want to make sure I got in at about like 4 o'clock. I want to be brief on this exchange. I probably might do this for about, if anything, maybe 20 minutes to a half hour. Um, no script, so basically doing this bad boy on the cuff. So basically, what I want to start talking about are like sports, anything, within the realm, skateboarding, any kind of like music, love music. Go on forever about talking about music. I'm a fan of YouTube, and I'm definitely a huge fan of some of the content creators out there, and just notice that everyone pretty much that I follow kind of like ties into each other in some kind of extent to another. But yeah, I love watching the gamer channels, and I'm a child, kind of like a child at heart when it comes to games. No Xbox or no PlayStations yet, as of yet. I'm more like a mobile gamer. I've always been, have the Game Boy in my hand, or always on the go, and I have the Nintendo Switch. Haven't got the OLED model yet, mainly because I just don't need the oversized, and I don't want to crush it in my bag. But it definitely is an awesome looking freaking screen, and for the money, it's pretty decent. But no, the Switch that I have, I just go ahead and have it either, tethered to the television, or I freaking just play it while I'm on the go when I'm at break, at my job. Which basically, you have to have one of those kind of bad boys to keep the lights on. But man, with all this stuff that's been brewing in my head and things, and oh man, just seeing the followers that I got off on TikTok and this and that, and I'm known to go into character. One of my characters that I have is a fellow by the name of Dime Store Violent J, and sometimes I'm known to rock that guy and pull out the mask and do a bit of a funny voice. I like doing the voices, old school cartoons, but no, back to segue to what I want to talk about. But yeah, music, gaming, um, old time freaking, shock jock radio, like prank calls, the Jerky Boys, funny stuff, a pie to the face, basically something that's gonna like break the monotony of what you're doing. You get bored, you could always, throw me on like as some background noise, kind of like how I used to do with Trailer Park Boys back in the day. I loved the show. I watched every episode, but it'd get to the point where just throw the Trailer Park Boys on, and it's just background noise while you're out, just you know, messing around, doing what you need to do. But no, basically, I just wanted to get everyone a little introductory on who I am. Some of the people I like to follow here on YouTube. Big shout out to the people over there in the sports section. That's Good Sports and the Urinating Tree. I like them guys. They're pretty cool. My gaming channel guys that I like to watch are usually the Angry Video Game Nerd or the guys over at GameSack or I follow a lot of people in that kind of realm. It's kind of hard to name them all at this point. Um, Doing this kind of a podcast to where I don't have any music on right now, but in future ones I will have like some music going on. Basically bare bones setup once I start get things rocking and rolling. But now I watch a lot of wrestling and combat sports stuff like that. I was a big time WCW and WWF fan as a kid. Loved that stuff. That stuff was awesome. Um, a lot of things going on in the media. Um, you know, I'm not going to like spring anything up on people's faces. Matter of fact, I'm kind of like one of them people where you can just like come at me with anything. Just, let's just try to keep it respectful. No judgments at all here. It's just, pretty much everything's kind of laid back. I don't get into the rat race of the politics, and if you're for one party and the other for the other party, I really couldn't care less. That's another thing. But when it comes to like old school wrestling or old school skateboarding and things that freaking really pulls on your nostalgia berries, it's kind of like got a lot of it's got kind of like a place in my heart for for stuff like that. For old cats like me that grew up on like MTV and skateboards and all that kind of cool stuff. That the memes that you see on freaking X or Facebook, where you see these bushy headed kids building ramps out of plywood, and I'm like, man, that's what we did and all that, but man, there's just like so much more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people like they're like, oh, who's your favorite skater and all that. I was like, man, to tell you the truth, my favorite skater was the kid who lived down the road from me, man. I think we were kind of all each other's favorite skaters back then. But if anything, I'd have to say Mark Gonzalez would have to be one of my all time favorite skaters. The Gons, yeah, he's kind of like it's like a paintbrush to canvas type of deals, man. He's in his own element, man. He's great. And no, I get like nostalgia for kind of all this stuff is and the thing is that even with this fight that was here last Friday. Oh man, you talk about stuff that happens in like professional wrestling. Oh man, which brings me back to the content creators. I follow this cat called Jake the Asshole, and he had a freaking a podcast, or he had a video on like I think a few hours before the Tyson Paul fight. And tell you the truth, man, this guy called it right down the center, and quite frankly, he's been right on a lot of things. But you get a chance. Some of these people that I'm talking about, that I watch and follow here on YouTube, yeah, check them out. I definitely like to follow this cat by the name of Dane Calloway. He's really smart. And that guy's as sharp as a Ginzu when it comes to like history and world events and what really went down. Yeah, he's in a league of his own. A lot of other people I like to follow on the history tip is a cat by the name of Kira Mayo. He's pretty decent when it comes to telling historical events. Cat by the name of Dr. Narco Longo, Old World Florida, The Mind Unveiled. He's a good one. Um, um, Analog. He's definitely a decent content creator. Some of these creators, like it's mind blowing. And it's like I look at their content and I'm inspired. And I even some of the content that I learned and come across, just by accident. It's like it's mind blowing, it really baffles me because, quite honestly, if you were to ask me in 2008, that things were going to happen and go toward the way of the independent and more toward the podcaster, I probably wouldn't have been able to tell you either or what was going to go down, because I grew up on old school radio, some good radio, like back in the late '80s and in the '90s and stuff like that. My dad, he was a produce contractor, and we pretty much would go from Florida all the way up to damn near New York, and we'd be hitting up all them good radio stations on, and I'd listen to stuff like when we were I think up in Virginia, I'd listen to stuff like these guys called Tommy and the Bull, and they were amazing in the morning. They were funny. Being up in that area, up in the Hampton Roads, and the Norfolk and the Delmarva Peninsula, I was also the radios up there. We were also able to get Stern, and oh man, just to hear Stern in his in his early careers, and and I'm not trying to mark out to Stern or anything like that, but just like the big time fan, like I mean, me, I'm in my early 40s, and most people that are my age, if they listen to like cool ass shock radio back in the '90s, and they would know exactly what you had to been there to listen to it. I mean, yeah, Spotify does have a good discography when it comes to like backlogs and stuff, and they got an awesome Bubba the Love Sponge catalog. I'm from Fort Myers, and pretty much we didn't get a real taste of Bubba the Love Sponge until about like the early 2000s, but I was able to get like him through like a good radio, because he was always in Tampa, and we'd always listen to him, and it was either a jumbo of all these good radio personalities. And it's like, oh man, just to listen to that stuff and like the prank calls and the debauchery, and all the cool shit that they were freaking cranking out in that times. And it's like, you come across that kind of deal where it's like, especially, at my age, I grew up on like the people where it's like, it was like, wow, you just told a dirty joke. Whoa, you're not going to go really far with that, kid. Or you want to tone that stuff down. You want to be more clean and direct. Then we had like your Richard Pryors and your Sam Kennisons and all these these comics and all these shock jocks on the radio. And even then, when they were on the radio, they were able to twist words and be able to bend around the censors and come up with their own kind of lingo, like talking carny and doing all these other kind of like side steps to get to bend the rules. But no, it's like just from where we come from then to where we are now, to where people can pretty much openly cuss on the microphone. It's like, yeah, I've got that right, but it's like, I try to veer away from that kind of thing, even in a point where it's like I think it's necessary. I try to like take the kind of like moral high road on that. Don't get me wrong, if there's a good comedic bit, or if that's in the material and it's gonna net a laugh, oh, you're damn right, I'm gonna freaking say it. But no, that's pretty much what I want to try to convey here today. I'm not going to keep y'all's eyeballs too long to the channel, because I'm just now getting off work. It kind of looked like shit. So wanted to tell everyone pretty much what it's going to be about. I want to freaking show pretty much how the sausage is going to be made, because quite frankly, this is not really my first video that I've uploaded to YouTube, but this is definitely me at first going live, because honestly, I thought that I'd be going live more on the TikTok world than I would be here YouTube, but I wanted to throw a dart, and I want to see if it sticks. Yeah, I noticed that this meager settings, and I got to start small. I'm actually kind of conquering a fear. So pretty much this kind of title and all this kind of stuff, I want to get a sense of what everybody thinks, and you pretty much take it from there, because it's kind of like a gratitude journal, kind of like my love letters to skateboarding, but it's kind of like my love letters, for life, because I try to be like a joyful chap and all this and that, but you got to kind of have that inner David Goggins too. We all do. We got to have that inner warrior to where it's like even if your body is crying for you to stop, you got to find that inner fortitude to keep going. And one of the most wisest things that I ever heard that dude say, and we all need to do this, the fuck with a freaking autopsy when you're dead. We all need to start doing our autopsy while we're alive. And we all need to start living that life and just knowing that every morning that we wake up, it's a blessing, even if it's, you know, one that just seems to be freaking wrapped up in a crummy disguise. You gotta freaking nuzzle up and go through that shit, homie. And I'm just gonna be here trying to like to segue or be the kind of conduit towards like, yeah, you know, because everybody needs to have listening ear to vent to, and if you allow me, I'd like to be that freaking homie that you can just, crack open a beer or light up a freaking spliff or just hey, ain't a matter about letting the guard down or any kind of that shit. It's all, things with a flow. Like, for instance, I've pretty much got a freaking notebook over here written with a lot of concepts. And, hopefully on my next freaking delivery, I'm going to start, saying what's going on and, a couple movie concepts. And the games that I like to play, a couple, gamer tag shouts out. Nothing new, but I play a lot of Rocket League. I'm just really not that much in. I'm like a casual gamer, but I do love the freaking concept of gaming online and competitive sport, all this and that. It's just that, being with work schedule, excuse me, and things that, everyday life and things that are going on, this and that. You know, I, I figured that, in my spare time, I want to go ahead and do this. I see a lot of freaking creators. I'm getting inspired by what they do, and hopefully, I'm able to turn this thing around to where it's like, man, because quite honestly, I should have been doing this freaking decades ago. Because the tales and the stories that I have could fill up a freaking book about like at least a foot and a half freaking thick. But no, this is the Manbaer pig. I'm just coming at you with the Man Bear minute. Matter of fact, some of the titles are going up as we speak. I just want to see if anything sticks. I call it the Manbaer minute because I'm Manbaer pig on TikTok. I'm definitely gonna have to start coming out with more like writing or tickers and stuff like that, or put my head in the little freaking video over the corner while I discuss videos. I'm new to this, so just hit me up in the chats and comments. Hey, tell me what you think, man. No bullshit. But if you have any ideas, just hit me up in the freaking comments. Tell me what's up. Um, Gonna keep this brief, but yeah, I just the YouTubes. I'm gonna try out the Rumble. I got the freaking TikTok. I'm on Facebook. All that kind of handle stuff. I'm gonna pretty much discuss in the next video, but this one's an introductory on things to come. Talks about music. If you have any kind of topics or any kind of things that you think would be interesting to talk about, you can always bring them up in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. All the new eyeballs and anybody who's watching the long form, oh man, it's much appreciated. Much love and respect. And I know I pretty much bored y'all to death already, but I'm kind of nervous myself. But hey, what did they always say about the journey of 1,000 miles? Starts with a single step, and here I am putting my foot out. I know it's a little rough in the beginning, but I'm gonna learn this as I go, and hopefully we'll learn together. Notice haven't got any chats yet. I'm gonna learn how to do that and integrate that and try to read this while freaking working the switchboard. Hopefully, by next time's exchange, we're going to go through the notebook pad. So definitely going to be here probably a week from now. If not, I will put up notifications before I get on. This one's kind of like right off the cuff, so please excuse me, but I found it imperative that I get this video out. If not, it was never going to happen. But much love and respect to everyone watching.